Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with another unboxing of the offline product gaming rant. This is Wizard with a Gun for the PlayStation 5. To jump right into it, this physical copy here is just the base vanilla version of the game, so the on-disc version is 1.0. Now sadly there was an update available. This update size was 1.1 gigabytes big and will take you to version 1.2.1 since the time of this video. Now, if you noticed, I didn't say review, I said rant. We're going to do something a little bit different here if you're not used to what we do here on this channel. We test and play all games completely offline, meaning we never connect to the internet, and we play games with an unregistered account, meaning that we do not sign into PlayStation Network's account and make an account with them. We just turn on the PlayStation 5, make an offline account, and play games offline. And sadly, Wizard with a Gun requires a registered account. Now, I do want to be very clear on this, is that it just needs a PlayStation Network account. Once you sign into PlayStation Network, you can turn off your internet and then play the game offline with a registered account. I know that's a bit confusing, but just keep that in mind that if you do want to play the game offline, it does somewhat support it, but you do need internet at least once or at some point to connect to make an account with PlayStation Network. I know that's a little confusing. Like I said, it's very weird to have one moment to say it's offline, then 1 minute it's not offline. It's just the fact that the game requires at one point you need an internet connection to make an account, to me makes the game a bad product because, as I said, we play and test games completely offline. And one time is too many times of an internet connection requirement. So I didn't really get to sit down and really play this game. That's why we're not going to call this a review, it's more of a rant. But I do not feel comfortable, at least not showing you some content. So later in the video, I will show you at the top left corner of the screen, you will see that it's registered account, but being played offline. And I'll let you know that everything you're seeing here isn't fully authentic of an offline unregistered account, that everything you're seeing is being played now with a registered and offline. I know that's a lot confusing, but I still want to provide you some information. Now, before we go into massive details about certain subjects, before people say that this game is clearly an online game, that's why you need an online account or make an online account, I don't really like that argument. While the back of the box does say it's an online game, the game also states you can play the game alone. And I want to be very clear that there are many games out there that are designed or seen as an online game, but still functions and plays for you to be played offline. Example of older games like Champions Return to Arms is an online game, but you can completely play the game completely offline with an unregistered account. Same thing with like Resident Evil Outbreak. If you want something more recent, let's look at Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a heavily online game where it's expected you to be connected to the internet to have some influence of your gameplay experience. But this game, Death Stranding, can still be played offline with an unregistered account. So it is very, very frustrating and just unexcusable the fact that Wizard with a Gun still requires you to make an account with PSN to play offline. I'm not a fan of this, I don't support this, and that's why I am considering it a bad product. Now, many people probably don't see a big deal. You'll probably have made an account. Let's say 99% of people have had a PlayStation, or let's say Nintendo Switch or Xbox. You're going to go online and make an account. But I don't like the idea of saying that, well, I mean, the account system will always be there. That's not entirely true. At any moment, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, you name it, at one moment the servers or systems can be shut down, and then you will not ever be able to make an account with that company. And yes, this is maybe very unlikely, but not impossible. So eventually this physical copy, at some point in the future, let's say we're down to PlayStation 10 and they don't support the internet service for like PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, then you can't make an account, or Xbox, or whatever. So, very frustrating. But everything else we're going to go beyond this point is just going to strictly be showing you some of the gameplay. Again, remember, that gameplay footage is being played with a registered account and offline. Now, there is some oddities, but little bit I've played, so if you're going to be a little upset that it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, that's because I don't know what I'm doing. I did notice that there was some odd slowdown for what little I was playing. For a game like this, it was very interesting to see some slowdown. I wouldn't necessarily say it was frame rate slowdown, it was just, I don't know, it just felt like it was slowly chugging along. as well as that I did have a few times the game kind of like free stuttered on me. So that was very interesting as well. Again, I didn't play very much, so that's why we're not going to call this a review. It's more of a rant complaining about the fact that I need an account just to play a single-player offline experience. It's just, again, the game supports offline. You just need to make an account. I don't support that. I don't encourage anybody who is a physical collector or likes to play games offline to pick up this physical copy. Now, also, I've seen some people confused about, like, let's say Steam. Steam says that the game can be played offline, but you got to remember, you got to make an account with Steam before you can even buy a game. So technically, you have an account. That's how you're able to play offline, because you've made an account with Steam or Valve, and then you just turned off you're in it. You're still a registered account, just being played offline. That's kind of like PlayStation Network. You need to make a PlayStation Network account before you can play it offline. Again, we do not do that here at In-Game Arts. If you're unfamiliar, we play all of our games completely offline with an unregistered account. We do not do DLC, updates, microtransactions, or redeem codes. If the content isn't on disc and be playable strictly off the disc, then it's irrelevant and doesn't exist, and it's considered a bad product. So the point of this video is to warn you and let you know that to avoid this physical copy if you're an offline gamer. As well as that, name, keep that in mind, what little bit I played. If you don't care about that, for what little I played, it wasn't the best experience. Like I said, some massively slowdowns that were very noticeable, and some freeze-up stuttering for what little I played, which was like 20 minutes at most. So, in the end, very bad product, very disappointed from Devolver. Usually they're really good about offline gaming. I don't know what possessed them to release this like this in the States. So, and there's no warning on the box requiring telling you need to make a registered account before you can play it. So again, very disappointing. So like always, I will try to leave links down in the description if you're instant copying. I don't recommend it if you're an offline game collector or a physical collector, because then maybe down the road, maybe if they have like a complete edition or definitive edition, and that may have updates, and they probably updated and fixed that requirement, then we can really look into it. But at the time of this making this video, this is the only version physically, and I don't recommend it because it's a bad product. So like always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!